Bethesda opened the floodgates as Starfield launched last September 6, and people have a lot to say about it. But whether you love it or hate it, Starfield was one of the most anticipated games to ever launch this 2023, teasing promises of adventure in a NASA punk style with an immense Skyrim-scale world, if not even bigger, to explore. But it might have fell a little flat of that, considering we did give it a 60 in our review. Why not check it out in the link below? Regardless though of what we scored it, we still ended up playing a lot of it, so I'm sure you're here to hear us lay down some facts. It's been a good amount of time since Starfield has been out at this point, so what are things that would have been helpful before we started playing the game? So let's go through what I wish I knew before getting Starfield. Now, we have been told many times that Starfield is a huge game, spanning across star systems filled with planets, space stations, and ships far and wide. But before you bust out your wallet to get it on the PC, it's best to know that the game very much prefers being run from an SSD rather than an HDD. Running on a hard drive causes the game to have audio stuttering, longer load times, and frame rate issues. So there is no smooth sailing across the stars unless you have that SSD. But I just spent all my money buying the game. Hey, we're just trying to lay it down for you. And honestly, maybe it's about time to invest in a sweet SSD anyways. We've all been there. You finally find that perfect haircut after 30 hours in the character customization screen, but 30 hours later you say to yourself, hey, this hairstyle's getting kinda old. Get it off me! Well, no need to worry. Starfield has something called Enhanced Shops, located in the central galaxy hub New Atlantis, and scattered all over different parts of the galaxy. You can change your appearance anytime you want for just 500 credits, which is pretty much pocket change as you complete missions. That's some advanced technology. You can also change your name, gender, and pronouns anytime this way, so your explorer is free to be whoever they want to be. When it comes to the major settlements, sometimes you can feel out of place with the locals, especially when you're gallivanting inside a huge, sweaty spacesuit looking like a tin can with legs. I don't know. That could be a different take. But surprise! You can just go to your inventory and toggle off your suit and helmet visibility. Just make sure you only do this in places with safe breathability though, cause if you ain't got no safe air then, well, let's just say it won't end well. One of the galaxy-sized letdowns in the game is also one of the most important gameplay aspects: space travel. While Starfield marketing boasts about its open-world nature, and while the areas admittedly load fast in-game, if you have an SSD, there are some instances where the world doesn't load in at all or completely. In fact, there are instances where players had spent so much time trying to manually travel to their destination only for them to phase right through it.
Ooh. It was flat.
The distance between the planet and the checkpoint that actually takes you into that planet do not sync up. Maybe flat earthers were right after all.
Game8 does not endorse or support the beliefs held by flat earthers or any other specific group or ideology related to the shape of the earth. Our website, content, and services are dedicated to providing information and assistance primarily in the realm of video games, entertainment, and general knowledge. We're committed to providing accurate and well-researched information on various topics. Shape of the earth is widely accepted as an oblate spheroid in the scientific community.
The game forces the player to use fast travel so often that the saying, "It's not the destination, it's the journey," just loses all meaning. You can't really get around it, but you can, at least, break the monotony a bit. What you do is, while tracking a quest, you can point your ship towards the quest marker, interact with it, and from there your ship will automatically jump drive. So now you have two ways to fast travel, instead of just always switching back and forth in the menu. Just in case it isn't obvious from the trailer, you get your own spaceship in the game. Starfield offers a lot of customization, especially when it comes to personalizing your spaceship, from good old-fashioned starships and sandwich-filled platypuses. One of the most important things that can bring your ship design together is your color scheme, but it becomes kind of a drag to select a shade and have to adjust the color individually all the time. There has to be a better way, and here it is. What you do is highlight one module and double-click, or press the left bumper button or controller to highlight the rest of the ship. And just like that, you can adjust the color of the whole ship all at once to keep things consistent. This feature can also be used to find that one module that isn't really connected properly. Now that you got your colors prepped, Be sure to attach the Captain's Quarters Habitat module, or HAB for short, to your ship to get your own personal bed that'll complete your little safe space in an ever-raging sea of intergalactic chaos and exploration. You can also get a 10% experience increase buff every time you sleep in your quarters, so that's nice, I guess. This space game also gives you a battleship for space fights. The game allows you to equip 3 kinds of weapons for your battleship, but you might find that less is actually more. When we first played through the game, we only equipped pulse lasers and a suppressor, which allowed us to focus our ship resources on just 2 weapons, making them very effective as opposed to trying to balance all 3. There are a lot of skills in Starfield, and it can get pretty confusing choosing which ones you'd want to focus on. If you don't have the time to read through an ocean of text, we highly recommend investing in the following: boost pack training, security, and fitness. You can also check out our Starfield wiki for more recommendations. Boost pack training gives you access to the jetpack, which is really helpful in covering ground and traveling across different terrains. The jetpack allows you to access new heights, quite literally, not only for exploration, but also for raining down hell on your enemies from above. The security skill lets you crack open higher level locks that lead to high quality loot. If you're the type who constantly searches for the best gear and items to make you the most powerful explorer in all the systems, and really, who isn't? Get security to deal with those pesky locks. And lastly, fitness is a skill that will not only increase your oxygen capacity, but also reduce your oxygen consumption while sprinting, allowing you to keep up the pace when you're hurtling towards your destination or running from your goddamn life from bloody large terramorphs. Stay away from me, you freak! The game has somewhat of a problem with balancing its weapon damage. The enemies are just a little teensy tiny bit too bullet spongy. That's why it wouldn't hurt to spend a few points on Persuasion to avoid stumbling into heated encounters just because you know words so good. Trust us, if you can trade words instead of bullet wounds to avoid certain death from high-level foes, take it.
I don't think any of us is ready to die. Nobody's been hurt. So maybe the judge won't come to...
But if you're still not keen on investing on those points, then you can always consume a lot, and I mean a lot, of booze and drugs. We're encouraging alcohol and drug use in the game, because things like wine or additives like Hippolyta and Paramore are all consumables that give you limited time boosts on your persuasion skills. Nothing like some good old liquid courage.
Oh, just take the damn... Listen, maybe you can keep this between us.
Just don't try to get too sloshed. Oh, in the game too, I guess. Choices and consequences are big things in the game, and sometimes you'll want to try to choose or say something else out of curiosity, only to find out you just made a terrible, terrible decision and you want a good do-over. That's where save scumming comes in, where you make separate saves before doing something important or questionable. In true Bethesda fashion, choices can definitely matter in the long run, so make sure you frequently visit the save menu to make sure you don't lose hours of progress just because you stole some pointlessly strong person's Reuben sandwich by accident or something.
That's mine. Give it back.
Some people might frown upon this and take the high road of facing your consequences, but I mean, just because sometimes I want to watch the world burn doesn't mean I actually want it to burn. Just let me have the option to take it back. And that's about all I can think about for stuff I wish I knew about Starfield. I'm sure for a giant game like this, there are some things I didn't mention, so why not correct us in the comments down below. For now though, go and embark on your galactic journey, Captain. We'll see you in the next one.